What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Nolan Skeen, alongside Antonio Fiore, Salestrina. Gentlemen, it's playoff time.
Good morning, neighbors.
It's
Playoff
playoff
football,
time.
baby. Let's go.
Let's
Playoff
go.
football. Wildcard Weekend is probably the best weekend of football. If not, it's right up there. Maybe
Either
week
that or
one.
divisional. Divisional can get pretty crazy sometimes.
Divisional's really good too.
Yeah,
Wildcard,
I mean, I think
divisional,
week one is pretty hyped too. Week one and
Oh,
like
yeah.
Week one's
Wildcard
hype.
Weekend are both equally
Wild
hyped.
card's great because there's so many games, but like there's also nothing like Championship Sunday too. Like when they used to do both conference championships on the same day, that was great.
Championship Sunday is almost like the crown on top of the season, like the cherry on top. Where like the Super Bowl is not like, obviously the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, but that's more like a party atmosphere. I feel like that's like a spectacle. Whereas like Championship Weekend, and you're sitting there with the like locked in, like it's a little different in my mind. Both any football is great, but like
I'm in like a dark headspace when I'm watching Championship Sunday.
it's like it's like more nerve-wracking than the Super Bowl. Almost.
That's when I'm like heavily rooting for the teams that I want in there.
Well,
like I always have a dog in the fight. Even if I don't have money in the game, like I will probably be heavily rooting for one side.
We're probably going to see the team that we all. Do you hate the Chiefs, Antonio, or like you don't mind the Chiefs?
I really do not want to see them in the Super Bowl. Like I don't hate Mahomes or anything like that. I'm just so sick of them. Like be like the Patriots. Take like fucking 6 or 8 years off from winning a championship, and then go in more. And if they don't win for 8 years or whatever, and then they go back to the Super Bowl, I'll be like,
that would be cool. Yeah.
They win.
So, do we want to do a Super Bowl prediction to start, or is it too early?
You want to start off the bat with that?
I want it out there. I want it front and center. I want everyone's Super Bowl pick right now.
Well, did you see that they leaked it? Did you see the NFL leaked the script?
I didn't see the script.
Did I send it to you guys?
Maybe
I did.
Know.
It was Bills Eagles, and the Eagles had the Eagles winning.
Really?
Yeah.
That would crush me, dude. That would fucking crush me.
That would be Antonio's nightmare scenario. That's the worst thing that could happen for Antonio.
I'd rather Eagles Chiefs.
You would be balls deep in the Bills against the Eagles. Like you would.
I fucking hate I don't talk like I hate the Eagles, but I hate that team and I hate that fan base.
Do you hate the Eagles more than you hate the Cowboys?
At times, yes.
Okay.
At times, yes. Especially if it's not as inflamed right now because the Giants are terrible. But when the Giants are competitive and the Eagles are also good, I really fucking hate them.
Yeah.
So I feel like for a while there, the Giants and the Eagles kind of had like the same pedigree where they were like this grimy team. They weren't necessarily like number one seed teams, but they were like, they were always fighting for like a wild card spot. So yeah, I could definitely get that.
So is that your prediction? Is Bills Eagles your prediction?
No, my prediction was hang on. I think my prediction was like Bills Green Bay.
That's what you're sticking by, because you can change. I'm just saying right now today, at this moment.
Yeah, I'll go with Bills Green Bay. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Antonio?
Yeah, I was that my last prediction? Bills Green Bay?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Agreeing?
I might. Because that might have been my like mid-season pick.
Dude, Green Bay's a little sneaky right now. I feel like nobody's on this Green Bay wave.
Especially the fact that they've lost the last 2 games. I really like that.
Yeah.
I like that they've lost the last 2 games because like now nobody's gonna like think of them.
Jordan Love played fucking great in both playoff games last year. They almost beat the Niners, and he looked really good the entire game.
And I don't know. I feel like the Eagles look kind of weak right now. I feel like they look beatable.
Oh.
And the Packers played them already, and they lost.
You notice
point with Malik Willis. And
the theme of the podcast is we never take the Chiefs. Like I feel like we never, ever, ever, any of us ever take.
I wouldn't be mad if you took the Chiefs. You don't want to, though.
Smart pick, isn't it?
It is the smart pick. The smart pick is like Chiefs Eagles or Chiefs Lions. A rematch seems like it could be very possible.
All right, you're sitting here 4 weeks from now. You turn on the Super Bowl. It's like got to be the Lions, right? Like I know you guys have the Packers. I feel like the Lions.
It goes against my heart so much to not put the Lions in there.
I think me and Nolan would rather see Lions there.
My rationale is that I feel like the Bills and Lions cannot be the two teams in the Super Bowl. There has to be a hero and a villain. You can't have two heroes. There has to be a hero and a villain. And right now, to me, the Bills look more like a Super Bowl winning team than the Lions do.
I'm going to look up the past Super Bowls and find out when the last blue versus blue was. Because
it's not even a blue versus blue thing. It's more of a hero versus villain type thing.
Giants-Patriots would be my assumption, I would say.
The last few Super Bowls, especially with the Chiefs, like there's always been everyone is on one team and everyone wants to see that like one team lose.
The Eagles aren't a hero. People hate the Eagles.
People do hate the Eagles.
Like they're not like one of those even.
But if it's Eagles Chiefs, you bet your ass everyone's rooting for the Eagles.
Yeah, no, not me, but
if it's Eagles Bills, everyone's going for the Bills. That's
the thing. Yeah.
Like even though like historically Eagles are not a successful franchise, people still hate them. It's the Philly thing, dude. Because
it's the Philly thing.
It's not like they're not a doormat franchise. They're just like the franchise that always choked right before the big moment.
And like the Philly scumbag thing. It's like a thing.
Exactly.
And they own it. Rightfully so. They own it.
I'm going against what I normally do and what my normal thoughts are. Lions-Ravens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only reason I'm saying that is these games get close. What are the Ravens going to do? They're going to hand it to Derrick Henry and hand it to Derrick Henry and hand it to Derrick Henry. And that's the great equalizer in these games. And the whole entire reason they got him, he had a great season. The whole entire reason they got him is for playoff games and for winter games. And he is not fun to tackle in these games. And if he's getting the rock 25 times, he's getting 150, 200 yards probably in almost every single game. So I'm saying Ravens, Lions, and it's going to be one hell of a Super Bowl. I won't pick a winner yet. If you made me, I'd probably say the Lions, but Lions-Ravens would be my pick.
I could definitely see like Chiefs-Lions too. That would be probably the ultimate hero versus villain would be Chiefs-Lions.
I'd be fine with that though, because I don't know, would that be a really good game?
Okay, let's talk about this. It's Chiefs-Lions. What's the hypothetical spread? Lions -2?
It'd be a close spread for sure. It'd be
Lions
close.
-1.
I could see Chiefs -1 too, just because the benefit of the doubt would be in there 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But then
that's a hard spread to make, I feel like.
But then it probably ends up being the Lions being favored because then the whole week will be like, oh, the Chiefs are using this as motivation because they're back.
Would they dare lay a Lions -3 out there?
No. That would be if they, depending on how they got to the Super Bowl, if they go into these two games and just rout each team, then I can see that.
If over the Chiefs by 3, Chiefs money line is free, dude.
You know what that would depend on? If they went -3, they would know the Lions are winning. If they went up to Lions -3 at the beginning, the Lions would definitely win.
Yeah, so many people would take the Chiefs.
Instantly, blindly, people would be Chiefs +3 instantly.
I mean, if you look at it, the divisional round is Lions Green Bay, and they absolutely rout Green Bay, which could happen. And then you have I don't know. Then they play either Minnesota or Tampa or Rams in Tampa. They could easily rout in those two games. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they go to the their Super Bowl path is very not easy, but if one of these teams gets upset, be it Philadelphia or I don't know, if Washington beats Tampa Bay, their path looks very easy at that point.
So I have all my support behind the Lions. I would never root against the Lions. I like the Lions as a team. They're a good story. They're fun to watch. Dan Campbell's been saying the whole time, I'll bite people's kneecaps off to win a Super Bowl. That's the shit. That's the NFL right there. So if they get there, you have to be happy they get there. And I'm not saying
the one thing I'm concerned about is does that like, I don't know, gunslinger mentality come back to bite them in like the most important moments?
You remember that Green Bay game on Sunday night or Thursday night when they played Green Bay at home and he had like 4 or 5 fourth downs and I think he missed 2 of them and one of them was on his own side of the field and they gave the ball right to Green Bay and they went down to score a touchdown. It's like shit like that. Like in a playoff game, then you get tight. Then the offense comes out and they're like, damn, we shouldn't have gone for that. And then the defense is second guessing the offense. So yeah, I mean,
because you cannot get away with shit like that, especially if you're going to be playing like the Chiefs or like the Ravens or the Bills. Like you can't do that.
But when you're all in the whole time, you can't then be like, maybe we should punt here. Like that's not how he rolls. So regardless
well,
of whether
he says it's like
right
a feel thing, is what he says. Like they do punt, obviously, but like.
But in the situation where it's like 50-50, they might go for it. They're going for it.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's how it goes. I love the meme where it's like fourth and 4, and then it's like the camera panning to Dan Campbell, and he's like just like it's like a media. Like they literally just
they go to him so quick, and he's like the offense is already like coming out of the huddle ready to snap the ball, and they're showing him as if they're like waiting for him to be like,
no,
like
you're going like
no, we're going. Every time they show him, he's like this. Yep. He's like literally like play sheet up against his face. He's ready to
go. There'll be a good story if they get there for sure, but we'll see. We got games this week that are far more important right in front of us.
Should we get into it, or should we talk a little bit about other shit?
I think we go like talk about these games, and then at the end we can kind of recap what happened last week.
Okay. All right. Let's start with Saturday, 4:30. We got the Chargers heading to Houston. Houston's plus 2.5 at home, over under 42.5. Our first wild card game. Antonio's not excited about this one.
It's hard to get excited about this one.
I would say it's by far the least interesting game. It'll probably be a good game, but there's a reason why this one's probably the first game.
Yeah.
If the Texans didn't get so hurt on offense, the Texans are a lot more interesting here in the playoffs as a whole, but I just kind of lost interest in this team once everybody started getting hurt.
Yeah, I agree. The vibe on the Texans is very low, and like the support is very low. It's nice that they got a home playoff game. That place will be rocking. But my rationale was, and let me know if you agree with this, Sal. If these two teams were playing any other team in the AFC, it'd be a way worse game. Like this is the best matchup for these two teams, I feel like.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Actually, that's a very fair take.
Like if Houston was playing Pittsburgh or something.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
It'd be terrible.
I can't believe how copy and paste Houston is every year. Like it just is the same thing year after year for like 15 years now, like 10, 15 years. It's the Saturday 4:30 playoff game. It's the either ass kicking the first game or ass kicking the second game. Like they're just a middle of the road like blah team. Like
they just love making it to this point, and then that's it usually.
I'm on the Chargers here, and I'm on the Chargers very big. I don't see a world where the Texans win this game. The Chargers, better coaching, better defense, better quarterback. I could say better skill position, but I'd say it's really neither of them have good skill position players. Like, I think take almost every box on the field goes to the Chargers. I could see a world where maybe they win the game by 1 or 2 points, but I'm not playing that game. I think the Chargers win, so I'm taking the Chargers spread.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Chargers here. I think the Texans will make this game interesting. I'm probably willing to bet to take that over probably, but I just think like this team does not match up well against the Chargers. Like I feel like the Chargers have, like you said, way better coaching. I don't know. Yeah, the Texans have become very one-dimensional since not having Diggs, not having Tank Dell.
I don't not like D'Amico Ryans either. I think D'Amico Ryans is a like decent head coach, good head coach, but
Jim can win in more ways right now.
Yeah.
I think he's a very good head coach.
Realistically, what's the path of Houston winning this game? Nico Collins going for like 180 yards or Mixon going for 150 yards? Like it could happen, but I don't know how light you're banking on someone to really come through for the Texans. Like
I think they're banking on like their defense just having an outstanding game somehow.
And like I don't think Herbert's just gonna give them the game. That's what I'm saying. Like
he doesn't
Herbert's
do
not
that.
just yeah. So like, what are you hoping for? Like they go 3 and out like 5 times? Like
I mean, he's done that in the playoffs before.
He has, but like I think this is a very favorable matchup for him.
He also doesn't have Staley as his head coach right now, though.
Yes, that does help a lot. That helps tremendously, which is why they won 11 games this year.
Don't you miss that, getting on the pod every week and just fucking...
Oh, my God, bro.
Shitting on Staley.
Oh, my God.
That was a weekly segment at a lot of points. It was just shitting on Brandon Staley.
We started talking about
we were saying it so long before he got fired, too.
I know.
We said probably for a year every week that he should be fired until he finally got fired.
He would make Nolan so pissed. Like, we'd start talking about the Chargers and his face would just get red.
I mean, how do you lose? How do you lose like 70 to like 15 against the Raiders?
Holy
like,
shit! I can't believe out of all the things, like that was what did it for them.
But I mean, come on.
How are you up 27-0 at the end of the first quarter and lose?
That's insane. That's
a guy that just threw 4 picks in his first quarter of playoff football ever.
He had 4 in the first quarter, right?
Trevor threw 4 picks. Dude, for a second, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be broken forever. His first playoff game, he threw 4 picks in the first quarter. He's done.
Antonio, he's horrible.
Then I put money line on Jaguars.
He's out of the league. He might be a backup. He might be a backup now.
Is Matt Jones the starter?
He might be.
He played decent down the stretch.
Yeah, he didn't play bad. I would say he probably played as good as Trevor would have played.
He played as good. Yeah, he played as good as Trevor.
I'm not even going to entertain this. You guys are full of shit.
Brother,
I'm dead serious.
He might not get that job back. He might not get that job back.
I will bet you so much money. You want to bet $1,000? I'll bet a fucking paycheck on it.
No, obviously we're exaggerating a little bit, but it's closer than you think it is. Like in terms of like if they were to go head to head.
I think they'll say there's a QB competition in camp.
Yeah, maybe Trevor will end up being the starter, but he's gonna suck still.
It's a bad excuse to fans, but to the team will be like, well, this guy was playing through an injury half the year last year, so we're going to put him back out in the field fully healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you definitely turn it to him. I'm just saying he still sucks. He's still going to suck when he comes back.
Okay.
I'll dead off the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon or shit on. So we'll go to the next game.
Yeah. Do we look at the one really good season he had or the one really bad season he had? The one really bad season he had, right? Because that favors your opinion that you had about him before anything.
But you mean the really good season where he threw 4 picks in a playoff game?
Yeah, and came back and won. Resilience, baby.
Then lost the next game.
That was a close game, dude. That was a close game against the Chiefs.
Chiefs always play close games, I guess.
Well, that was like high flying Chiefs. That was scoring Chiefs. That wasn't defense Chiefs.
I don't know. You're clinging on to this.
I get it. You don't like Trevor Lawrence, and I like Trevor Lawrence. Let's move on.
you have like his fat head in your closet.
I think you sound more ridiculous than I think you always sound a lot more ridiculous than I do. I never sit
when it comes to him.
I never sit here and say I think this guy's great. I'm sorry when you say
when he was coming into the league, you were arguing that he was great.
Huh?
You convinced us.
You were doing tricks on it when he first came in the league.
You were sitting and spinning.
I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about conversations about him this year.
That's fair.
Yeah, this year. I mean, but like we all said,
like no one would see 3 games from him and be like, dude, they should pull him. He's done. He's awful. I'm like, bro, you sound fucking ridiculous.
He was awful.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't be a starter.
He was awful last year too.
All right, let's move on. I brought up a sensitive topic.
Okay.
Nolan doesn't. I don't think Nolan believes what he's saying when we talk about Lawrence. I really
believe
don't.
100%. Just like how I believe that Lamar Jackson has played better last year.
Nolan's like an epic level troller. Yeah.
What, dude? I'm clip farming. All right. The Pittsburgh Steelers head to Baltimore. The biggest spread of the weekend, Baltimore minus 9.5, over under 43.5. I'm just going to come out and say it. If Pittsburgh loses this game and loses it badly, they might be the frauds of the year. Would you guys agree with that statement?
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't sound ridiculous on that one.
I disagree because it's the Vikings. If they lose to the Rams, they're the frauds of the year.
Fair.
Okay, that's a fair argument.
But yeah, they're definitely they're in the running for.
They'd be the fraud of the AFC for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, unless if the Chiefs lose first round and it's not a close game, they lose by like 10, then they're easily the frauds of the year.
Okay, yeah, I agree with both those actually. But no, I mean, I hear what you're saying because like they came out the gate hot, and then it's like, all right, now you're back to square one. This is the same story every year. They're 10-6.
They're literally the same team.
They were the same contention until like
4 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago? Yeah.
5 weeks ago, they were like, we were talking about them being like, we were like, this is like a different Pittsburgh team. Like, they might actually be like.
They were a game behind the Chiefs, and we were like, when they play the Chiefs, they're going to beat them.
Yeah, and like since then, they've gone back to how they normally are. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was that Chiefs. I started in that Chiefs game. They've looked like shit.
And like they can't score. They have no offense. 17 points against one of the worst defenses in football is crazy.
Russell Wilson's horrible. I mean, I'm not saying Justin Fields is better, but Russell Wilson is horrible.
I feel like they might fuck around with their offense a bit this weekend. I'm not saying that they'll have Fields in there throwing, but like they might
packages.
They got to try something.
Like some Taysom Hill shit.
So this is why I'm Sal Lustrina. I'm taking the Steelers plus 10 or 9.5.
Yeah, even though that's a huge spread. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Even though I think the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. I'm not like married to that, but the Ravens are my pick. I think the Ravens win this game. I think whatever, but it's a divisional game. It's the Steelers. He doesn't really play well against the Steelers. Like, I can see this being like 27-20, 28-21. Like, it's
the last time they played, they won by more than 10. It was 34-17. But the time before that, the Steelers won, and they won by 4 points or something like that. So, I just don't understand how you make the spread minus 9.5. I get the Steelers been playing like crap. I get that. That's just...
there is two outcomes of this, or two ways this game is going to go. Either Pittsburgh or Baltimore is going to come out and struggle and barely beat them, or they're routing them by 30 points. I don't know which one it is. If you were to put a gun to my head, I would probably say Baltimore like probably covers this 9.5 and probably wins by like 3 touchdowns, because that's what this line is telling me, and that's how recent play has shown that how these teams are playing. And I'm probably just going to stick to that. But I would not be surprised if Baltimore like struggled and like barely beat this team, and Pittsburgh played a very good defensive game. But my pick is Baltimore minus 9.5.
I can see it. There's a world where they get routed. There's a world where Pittsburgh loses this game 45-0 or like 38-0. So I can see your sentiment on that. I'm going with the narrative of the close divisional game, but I still got Baltimore winning either way.
Yeah, like this could be like 37-14 Ravens, I feel like.
Yeah. I like the over in this game, surprisingly.
So we like the Saturday overs, or do you not like the over in the Chargers-Texans game?
To be honest, I hate the over in the Chargers-Texans game. Okay. But anytime I say an under, you bet the over. So the over is probably hitting.
I didn't hear you say it though. You just said you hate the over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be into the over in that game either, Sal.
It's gonna be like a 37-31 game now.
Probably.
All
right. Moving on to Sunday, the second largest spread of the weekend. The Denver Broncos head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills are minus 8.5 at home, over under 47.5. How do we feel about this game? Because I feel like a lot of people that I've seen on Twitter are picking Denver in this game for some reason.
Oh, they're winning.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. I just picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl.
Are you serious?
I just picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. No.
Okay. Are you taking their spread?
I like their spread, though. I kind of think this is going to be a good game.
One of these big favorites is kicking ass, and I'm gonna take the Bills to kick ass. And I didn't think I was gonna do that initially, but this is like here's my thing, right? You bet
Bo
on the
might be overwhelmed when he gets to Buffalo. I get that.
I was gonna say, yeah, you bet on Broncos plus 8.5. You bet on Broncos plus 8.5, and it's 7-0, and Bo Nix takes the field, and you're like,
that's a good point, man.
You're like, what did I do? what is going on right now?
Like, wait, I took Broncos money line.
Yeah, you're like,
what did I do that for?
You're like, I need Bo Nix to play a good game at fucking in Buffalo for a playoff game. Like, no, like, come on, like
this is a tall task to ask of a rookie QB.
I'll say this: Sean Payton, great coach. Their defense has played very well this season. The Broncos has. They do have some sort of still guys, but it just feels like one of those games where, like, if the Bills want to, they're probably getting 8-10 yards of play. Like, so realistically, the Bills are going to put up 30 points, 27 points, 28 points. So, do you think can the Broncos get to 21 is kind of the game? And I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't think
before you make your I don't know if your final before we make final picks, I just want to throw this stat out there.
Oh God.
Since 2017, head coach Sean Payton, his record against bald head coaches is 30-12.
Mm.
Sean McDermott is a bald coach.
Do they take into consideration that he? Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just not gonna say it.
30-12 is insane.
It's insane, but
who's calculating that? Who went back and like looked? They're like, okay, he's a bald coach. He's a bald coach. Awesome. All that tells me is that there's a lot of bald head coaches.
Yeah, 42 games against bald head coaches. It's a lot.
Since 2017, it's a lot.
Yeah, I got the Bills 35-17 in this game.
What
35-10.
Like, 35-10. I was almost going to switch based on what you said. Very good point about Bo. What?
I thought you were going to switch based on my stat.
I think I'm going to stick with it. I think,
it's not that I
stick with the Broncos.
And it's not that I think Bo Nix is a bad quarterback at all, but it's this is different. This Sunday at 1 is going to be different. Like, he's walking into the fire.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold as shit.
It's going to be cold as shit.
He's been playing in cold, but like I feel like Buffalo cold is a different cold.
You don't think Von Miller's done a sack against his former team? Come on.
Revenge game. Yeah, I like Buffalo minus 8.5. And I do agree. Bo Nix has played very well, and this team has done very well. But I can't see this road continuing.
Yeah.
For them. There's been
there will definitely be an upset this week, but I don't think it's any of these first 3 games.
Now, can we go into hypothetical land where, like, if Buffalo loses this game, what the fuck happens? That is bad if they lose this game.
I like this. I think there's a 35 to 40% chance Sean McDermott gets fired if they lose this game.
I could see that.
And then they bring in a Ben Johnson or a Mike Vrabel if Mike Vrabel doesn't sign with the Pats.
Or Ben Johnson signs with the Pats.
That's also a possibility for sure. But I think all hell breaks loose, and I think they're all pointing fingers. And
I think a lot of alarms start to get pressed if they lose this game.
This is not the time for them to lose. If next week they play Baltimore and it's a nip and tuck and they lose by 3 or 7. It is what it is. They beat you. But if you lose to Denver in the wild card round, like
as an 8.5 point favorite at home,
you're something's wrong there for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would be tragic.
There'd be a huge defensive overhaul. They'd probably go get a receiver. Like there would be a lot of changes after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably try to get a receiver, even if Tyreek Hill maybe. But, I mean, I don't know. They're going to have to try.
In division, they won't do that.
Also true.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're definitely going to try.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would the Bengals let T. Higgins go there?
I mean, he's a free agent, so if they offer him enough money, he would go there. But no, I hear you on that. It's red alert if they lose this game.
It's holy shit.
He died.
No, I can hear you. You said 1 second.
It's fine.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next game. The Green Bay Packers head to the Eagles. The Eagles are -4.5 at home, over under 45.5.
Well, both of you are taking the Packers here, which not like I'm surprised about, but
yeah, and I think 4.5 is a lot of points too. I think this should probably be like 3 or 2.5.
Do you know how many? Every single fucker in that stadium is going to be on like 18 beers. Like Philly is going to be rocking for that game. Jalen Hurts in concussion protocol or whatever the hell it was earlier in this week. I don't really understand that.
I don't really buy that. I think he's probably fine, and they're just kind of playing mysterious with it a little bit. But
it's just it is just weird. I don't really get it.
I think they're playing politics there.
Speaking of hypotheticals, and coach is getting fired. If Philly loses this game, are they firing Sirianni?
I don't think so.
I don't think you can after a 13-4 season.
I think McDermott.
I know it looks bad after 2 years in a row losing first round, but
I think McDermott is more likely to get fired if they lose. Than
I 100% agree.
Sirianni is more likely to get fired if they lose. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win by more than 4.5 in this game. I don't know why. I think just we've seen this game and Saquon just runs all over them. That's kind of the strap. So I'll take Philly minus the points.
Yeah, I like the under in this game, and just for the simple fact that both these teams are very run heavy, and like I don't know, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of possession going on from maybe either side. Could be a few turnovers in this game. I don't know. I think like this game could go either way. I feel like this is probably the most up in the air game in my opinion. Like you could probably argue that maybe Houston and the Chargers are up in the air, but I feel like this game is very up in the air. Like it really depends on how they start, because I feel like both of these teams are very capable of falling flat.
I don't know, man. The next couple teams, the next couple of games we're about to talk about are also pretty up in the air, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true. But I just feel like both these teams could really have a stinker. Like they really could.
I agree, and they're both.
I hope that they don't
rely on the run game.
Yeah, I hope it's a very good game, and I hope we see a good quality football game. But I'm taking Green Bay 4.5. They're my Cinderella team. All right. The Washington Commanders head to Tampa Bay, take on the Bucs. Bucs are -3, over under 50.5.
This is my upset of the week. I have rookie phenom Jaden Daniels winning his first playoff game. It is the perfect cherry on top of this great season. Nobody expected them to be there. They're going to put all the pieces together. They're going to win a very high-scoring game. I got 35-31 Washington in this game.
This is a bad time to tell you that the over-under is 50.5.
Knew you were going to bring that up. So
did I say
I mean,
I said it, right?
Yeah, you did. My theory was kind of disproven in that Broncos game because I opened my big fat mouth at halftime when I texted you. But I don't know. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not betting the over. I'm not taking the over. Like, I'm fine with that. I just think Washington wins this game, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I really like Washington here.
Okay. Yeah, this game's tough too. This is a hard game to pick because, like I said, with the Green Bay and Philly, like these two teams are very volatile. Washington comes in winning 5 in a row. They've been playing great, but they've also had a few games where you're kind of like, okay, what is this team? Like I feel like,
the scary part about this game is I could see Washington getting scraped in this game. That wouldn't surprise me. But at the same time, I think Jaden Daniels is too good to not take +3, +140 here. Or +3.5, whatever the spread is. I think these teams are dead even. I love Baker. I know Tampa Bay's played well. I'm taking the better quarterback, I think, at this point.
What's funny too is I feel like both of these teams have kind of I feel like maybe Tampa's probably scraped a few more wins because I feel like when they start the game, like, I don't know, I feel like they're both kind of faded in like the second quarter or third quarter, and then they somehow find a way to win at the end. And I feel like both of these teams do the same thing. So it'll be interesting to see who fucks up more. And I feel like, I don't know, that the inexperience could bite them in the ass a little bit. So I'm probably just going to take the Bucks here. -3.
Yeah, I think I thought about it here in silence. I went back and forth for about a minute listening to you guys. But I think I'm going to stay with my gut and my initial pick, and that's taking Tampa Bay.
I didn't present a strong enough case for Washington. I understand. If I was a little more compelling, I think I could.
I don't know. I think I'm just being
no?
a little stubborn.
You almost convinced me.
Yeah, you did. For a second, I thought I was going to take them.
If you pulled out like a bald head type of stat, I might have switched.
I think I'm just being a little stubborn. I think Tampa Bay is,
the one thing I will say
in this little bigger era, I think they end up with another playoff win.
The Lattimore shutdown on Mike Evans is real. Whenever they play, he gets in his head. So, yeah, he's on Washington.
Yep.
Okay, I'm taking Washington.
Just based on that?
Yep.
Yeah, I got him.
You got him. You got him.
Yeah. I don't want to give anything away, but I think that's my most confident pick this week.
That's big for me. That Lattimore thing, seriously.
Every time, bro, and like he barely catches passes too. So it's like, who are you really relying on for Tampa Bay? Like, you really expect McMillan to catch like 7 balls or Bucky to go out there and catch 5 balls? Like, yeah, they can, but like, I want my dog to I want the number 1 to go eat. Like, he should have 7, 8 catches. He's not having 7 or 8 catches on Lattimore. That's just not happening.
I like it.
So we'll see.
All right, moving on to the last and final game of Wildcard Weekend. This might be a fun one. We got the Minnesota Vikings heading to SoFi, take on the Rams. Vikings are -1.5 on the road, over under 47.5. Very interesting matchup here. We knew it would be interesting based on how, the regular season shook out, that the fact that like Minnesota, like, I don't know, they won 11, 12 games, and they have to go play a road.
They won 14 games, actually.
14 games. Yeah, you're right. And then they have to go, play a road playoff game. But, I mean, is there, there's probably a real possibility that the Rams win this game.
Dude, I feel like everybody's going to take the Rams. It says 50-50 right now on the spread, but everybody that I've talked to is taking the Rams.
I got percentage of the money on this spread is 54% Minnesota, and percentage of the bets is 65% Minnesota.
This is never like a lopsided game in my mind, Antonio. You might just get that small sample that all says the Rams. This is one where half the people are going to say, I've seen Minnesota all year, and they've looked like such a better team than the Rams, and blah, blah, blah. And you're at half the people that say, how can you bet Stafford, or how can't you bet Stafford over Sam Darnold in a playoff game? I think
true.
I think you pull 100 people and it's 50-50, like legit 50,
that
maybe
52-48. I feel like that's how it's been all year. Like, there's been people, like us, who doubted the Vikings and like really kind of we never really bought into the Vikings, even though they won 14 games. It's kind of crazy. But then there are people that are like, the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl.
The one time I bought into the Vikings all year was last week against the Lions for some reason, and then I felt retarded after taking +3. I was like, "What?"
I think the people are just kind of the Vikings are one of those teams I think people are just kind of like sick of right now. Like, they've been around for like the last 10 years, getting in the playoffs most years and stuff like that, and always losing pretty early. I think people are just kind of like, I think a lot of people expected them to suck this year, and then they were really good, so people are like, oh.
I think that kind of helps their case of like people feeling so strongly about them, is the fact that they were supposed to be so bad, and then you go and win 14 games. Like, that's actually ridiculous. It's like they were in the conversation of worst team ever coming into this year, and then they go and almost get the 1 seed in the end. They were 1 game away from getting the number 1 seed, and they won 14 games.
My head hurts trying to pick this game. I need both of you to make your picks, and then I'll make my pick because I don't know what I'm about to say yet.
I'm gonna take the Vikings, man. I'm gonna do it. I think they win. I think their season doesn't end this weekend. I think they're a lot more fun of a team than people give them credit for too.
These are two very fun teams, and
the Rams are a fun team,
good
bro.
Games.
Cooper Kupp and
I know.
is so fun. Like
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they're not.
No, I get it.
Yeah, both these teams are very fun. My heart is telling me to take the Rams because I'm just like, the Vikings are bad. Like, it's like ingrained into my brain that I just cannot fathom how the Vikings have gotten here. I think I'm just gonna take the Vikings here. Like, I feel like, I don't know, bro. This is actually like, this actually might be my favorite game of the weekend. Like this, like two like hotshot young coaches. They got two quarterbacks who are doubted for most of their career and like had to come back. You know, obviously Stafford had a bit more of a comeback, but Sam Darnold has really like turned it around, and now he's like, you know, everyone's like, holy shit, Sam Darnold's actually good. They both have exciting offenses. You know what I mean? Like, this game is awesome.
This is like when a parent gets asked who their favorite child is. Like, they can't answer, but they have to sit there and like be like, which one is it? Oh man, dude, I don't like Sam Darnold, and I know he's played so well all year. But like, when I think about it, is the storyline next week not, all three of the NFC North teams are like in the NFC divisional round? Like, it could be one of those storylines where it's like they've been the best division all year, and like
I didn't even think of that when I picked
Green Bay. Yeah, so like maybe that, I don't know, maybe they're just on that where like they've been head and shoulders better than everyone else.
So very good.
I'd say their brand of football has definitely been the best, so it would not surprise me if all three of them are still in next week.
Antonio, how do I look at myself in the mirror, though, if I bet on Sam Darnold and then Matt Stafford goes out and shits on them? Like, how stupid do you
Brother, we've been saying that all year, though. We've been saying that all year.
Dumb bets before.
Yeah, that's true.
How many times have we said fart Darnold this year?
Way dumber bets. And fart Darnold's been ever since the fantasy draft. I've been saying fart Darnold, and he's just been
and it's like I think that's why I'm just gonna take them this time because I think Antonio's right. I think they deserve to win this game.
I feel like the Vikings are like the Mets, and they never lose like the minimal game. They lose like the maximum paid game. Like it's like they won't lose this week. They'll lose to like the Lions next week or the NFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm taking the Vikings too.
I would have never guessed that all three of us agreed.
I'm shocked I'm taking the Vikings. Until I said the words Vikings, I didn't think I was taking Vikings. So but I'm taking the Vikings.
I feel like the three of us like went into this pod unsure about this game, thinking I myself was like, I'll probably take the Rams, but I'm not sure. I feel like you guys may have had the same mindset.
I had the same exact mindset.
I haven't had an opinion on this game until we talked about it. Like, I haven't fully made up my mind.
I didn't feel that strongly about it, but my lean would have been Rams.
When I saw the spread, I was like, damn.
I would have expected myself all year to take the Rams in this game.
I can't really yell about it today because it's Thursday, but the thing I hate about doing the podcast is like on Monday or Tuesday, you could ask me about the game and I'll say X. And then when it comes to Sunday, right before kickoff, I'll be like, not it. No, like, no. Like,
but you know, if we did it Thursday and Sunday came around, you do the same thing.
Oh yeah. but I'm sitting there like, there was one game earlier this year where I was like, I fucking love this team. I don't know what game it was. I was like, I fucking love this team on the podcast. And I'm like fucking spewing all this shit, blah, blah, blah. Then it got to Sunday and I'm like, no, the other team's definitely winning. And I bet on the other team and I was right. I don't know what game it was, but like that shit happens where I get to Sunday and I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I don't agree with what I said 3 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've done it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Where I've picked a game and then took the other team in my pick 3.
I'm not confident in the Vikings whatsoever, but if you're asking me my pick right now, Vikings are my pick. That's dry.
Okay. Here's one last line I'm going to put in the water. Could you not see if Green Bay, and this is a big if Green Bay beats the Eagles and plays the Lions next week, could you not see the other game being a rematch of a couple years ago? Bucks and Rams.
Of course I can.
Like, I feel like that could be very likely to me.
Say that again.
If Green
You're
Bay...
just not remembering it right because Tom was there.
Yeah. Could it not be like a rematch of a couple years ago?
What would the rematch be? Bucks who?
Bucks Rams.
Rams.
2022.
That wouldn't be the game.
Bucks played the Rams in the divisional round 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
No. I'm saying.
Yeah, he's right.
If those teams won, that wouldn't be the game.
Would it not be the game?
It would be.
Why not?
It would be.
No, he's right. If Green Bay
Green
wins,
Bay and
yeah,
Lions
right.
and Bucks and.
He's right. Totally right.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
The next round's not Bucks Rams. Come on, that's not the right matchup.
No sell.
So it'd probably end up being what? Vikings
Lions,
Lions,
yeah.
Bucks Eagles. I don't know.
That sounds a lot better in my
That doesn't
mind.
sound likely to me. Even though I did just pick Minnesota. But then it could be Green Bay, Detroit, and then Vikings Bucks or Vikings Commanders.
That sounds a lot better.
I feel like I couldn't see the Vikings playing the Commanders. I definitely could see the Vikings playing the Bucks though.
There's a chance I have a parlay of the two NFC North teams Sunday, Monday.
Then it could also be Eagles, Bucks, and Vikings Lions, a rematch of Week 18.
Okay, I like that too. Eagles Bucks is a good game. That's the Bucks kicked the Eagles' ass last year in the postseason, the first round.
Yep. I could see
What's so funny? What were you laughing or no, Antonio?
Maybe I giggled a little bit. I'm thinking I gotta give you guys my pick one in a minute because I gotta split, and I was.
I feel like me and Antonio need to treat this pick one like our tiebreaker for pick 3 because we tied in pick 3.
You tied?
We both went 1 and 2 this week.
No, it's not. It's not just this week. It's your 4 rounds of the playoffs is your tiebreaker.
I feel like that. Okay, yeah. I'll do that. But then what happens if we tie that?
All right, I gotta give you guys mine because I gotta go after that.
Measure your cocks, and whoever has the longest cock wins for this.
I was gonna do Packers. That's what I thought I was gonna do. But again, I think this Pittsburgh spread is just ridiculous.
Wow. Okay.
Pittsburgh plus 9.5. It's kind of boring, but it's gonna be my pick one.
Good job, Antonio.
Touchdown score, Najee Harris.
Oh.
All right.
See ya.
Can't wait to hear your picks. Going NFC North.
Yeah. My pick one for the week, Nolan.
Oh, this is gonna. It fucks up the OBS. Oh, whatever. It's fine.
It's still recording. We're done.
If you're no, it is. But like, if you're watching this on like YouTube or like Spotify, it looks funny. Like half of your face is cut off. Like on like the top one is like the right side of your face. The bottom left is like the left side of your face. It's kind of funny.
God, what am I doing for pick one? I'm going Chargers.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going Chargers. I don't want to say no for a fact they win, but I'm supremely confident they win. And if they win by 1 or 2, then fuck me. But like, I'll take them to win by more than 2 points. I'm fine with that. Chargers minus 2.5. That's my pick of the week, John.
Mine is Buffalo minus 8.5.
Okay.
Wait, what did he pick? I didn't write it down.
He picked Green Bay, right? No. He picked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh plus points. And Najee. Those were his 2 picks for a touchdown. My touchdown scorer will be Mr. Gritty himself, Justin Jefferson. He's getting in the end zone.
I like it. Mine will probably be Josh Jacobs.
Nice. I like that.
I think he definitely gets in the end zone.
He's been a monster all season, bro. He's had a great season.
He has had a really great season, which I feel like he kind of flew under the radar. Like, not like flew under the radar, but like when he went to Green Bay, everyone was kind of like, eh. Like no one really thought of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had a tremendous year.
Can I get any credit for saying that Mayo was on the hot seat this year?
I'll give you credit. I will say this though. Something must have happened because a few weeks ago they said there's no way he was.
I think it's because they won the last game.
I think it is too. And from like the stories that I'm hearing, like it really just sounds like he was not head coach material. Like he was doing
also
like
the pressures
shit.
too, where he's saying like Stevenson's not going to start, and then Stevenson starts, or like whatever. Like he's had so many weird sound bites, and then he goes back on what he says in the media. It's like he was just playing this weird game or like trying to be Belichick or like trying to be like some sort of like mastermind. And realistically, it's like, dog, your team's 3-10 or 3-12 or 2-10. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't know why you're trying to play this like Yoda card where you think you're smarter than ever. Like, it's just he just seems dumb for doing that. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we didn't like it when it was happening. I didn't think he should have been the successor to Bill Belichick. I think it was definitely, and I just think it's funny too that Robert Kraft comes out and is like, we put him in an impossible position. It's like, this was like your plan though. Like
yeah, literally.
The way they set it up was like he had it written on like a stone, like it was carved into stone that he was
not many first-year coaches would have went in there and had a good season last year.
Yeah, obviously, but the way that they were setting it up was like this was the plan all along. Like we think he's a good, you know what I mean? Like, and then for it to just end up the same exact way as if they got somebody else is like funny because it's like you built it up like he's the next Bill Belichick, even though no one expected him to be that. I'm not saying that at all, but like they said it as if he's the next coming. You know what I mean? Like they made it into that, and it was never going to be that. And I think the prospect of having Drake May there will attract a lot of good head coaching talent.
So you sound like you're all in on Ben Johnson from what I can perceive from
I would like to see him over Mike Vrabel if those are the two choices, end up being the two choices, because I want somebody new.
I'm not on the same page only because I think you need the reset on the culture. I think you have to get back to, quote unquote, the Patriot way. He was one of the stalwarts of the first 3 Super Bowls. He knows how it works there. He knows what Kraft likes to do. They play a certain style of football. Drake May is going to be a great quarterback. I can just see him being successful there. Ben Johnson. So in my mind, the safe pick. If you want the stable, come in, get back to the playoffs, do all the right things. That's Vrabel. If you're shooting for the moon and hoping you get McVay or Kevin O'Connell or one of these bright minds, then Ben Johnson's the pick. But that comes with the risk that he could suck or he could not be head coach material. And then you're stuck with another lame duck. And then maybe in 2 more seasons, you're firing Ben Johnson. And now you only have 1 or 2 years left of Drake May on his rookie deal. So this is a very fine window where you can't screw up. And this head coaching decision is eons more important than a lot of teams' coaches' decisions this offseason. Because if they can get the right coach in place, then you got to have a nice draft with that 4th pick. You're only 1 or 2 seasons away from really competing in the AFC. You have the quarterback on the rookie deal, and you have pieces in place that will help you. So they need to get this right, and in my mind, Vrabel is the right choice because it's the safe choice. He won't go in there and fuck up. That's why I like Vrabel.
So here's what I'll say just to counter what you're saying and say why I think Ben Johnson is the right choice. Because Ben Johnson now, I love what he did this year with Jared Goff and how the Lions offense competed this year, and the way that they were, running their offense made a lot of sense to me with how their team is built. That shows me that he is smart. He's an up and coming offensive mind. And if you bring in Vrabel, just like how you're saying with the risk with Ben Johnson, I think there's also a risk with Mike Vrabel because he's a defensive head coach. They did not have the best offenses when he was with the Titans. That one time that they went to the AFC Championship game, that was Derrick Henry. I'm sorry. That obviously Mike Vrabel came in and had a very good system and a very good culture. I think Ben Johnson, being under Dan Campbell, can come in and have something like that. And I do get the risk of it being his first time. I do get that a lot, but we need to shift to offensive mindset. And Mike Vrabel would be the 3rd guy now that is a part of this defensive system that clearly has not worked out. I think.
All right, counterpoint to your counterpoint. 2 things. Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback there, and not many offenses are going to be a top offense with Ryan Tannehill.
I understand.
Not saying Ryan Tannehill is bad, but it's not the cream of the crop.
But they had A.J. Brown and they had Derrick Henry.
Fair. Saying all of this too, I am dying, starving for a great offensive scheme for the Patriots. I'd love to sit there and watch them play a 35, 40-point game. But Nolan, what happens in the winter? It snows, it gets cold, you have to run the football, you have to play defense. And yes, I know Ben Johnson can scheme up plays for a run. I know he's a great play caller. I know all of that. But you need a tough MFer in there that's going to play some defense and run the football in the postseason. And Drake May is the end-all be-all. I get that. It comes down to the quarterback. But he can't be back there 50 times a game in January getting hit and throwing the ball all over the park. That's not happening. So I think Vrabel's the right choice, but I completely understand your mindset of wanting Ben Johnson and thinking he's the right choice.
Yeah, I think either way, you couldn't really go wrong. I think like it's just of what you would rather see.
I would be upset if they got neither. If they did neither of them, then I'm a little worried because it's like what went wrong? Why do we not?
I would be upset because you got to think like for a new head coach, this has to be the prime opportunity. You have Drake May, you have a supportive owner, and you have a fourth pick.
Yeah.
Like you have everything, and then you have also like the only like negative I could say is like the fact that it's the Patriots and what they've done in the past 20 years. I don't think either one, Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel, would give a fuck about that. I just really hope that they go with Ben Johnson just to kind of turn the page and clean the slate of
it's a fresh team. Yeah,
it's a fresh start. And like I think like what you're saying about the gritty like defense, I feel like they could bring in a defensive coordinator that could fill that type of role.
So maybe they go Ben Johnson and then hire Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator.
I think they could do something like that. They could make like a very good staff, kind of like what the Commanders did. If you look at what the Commanders did, that's kind of what they did.
Is Rex Ryan going to be the Jets head coach?
I mean, I feel like people would love to see it. I don't think so. I don't think he would come back.
He's dying to go back there.
Is he?
Dying, Nolan. He wants that job so badly.
I could see it.
I don't know if Rex Ryan in the big 2025, bro, coaching? Like, what? Like,
dude, I could see it. I definitely could see it. That's the thing. I don't know what it would look like, but I could definitely see it.
The thing is, it's the Jets, and they have nothing to lose. So, like, if he really wants it, give him one more crack at the fucking like. What's the better option? You're gonna go get like Brian Flores or something? Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing a name out there, but like
that would really piss me off if the Patriots got Brian Flores.
Yeah, I don't want Brian.
If
Flores.
You have the choice of like those three people, he is like way down. Like
easily
he's the third.
Yeah.
He's the third choice and like way down.
Yeah,
like there's probably a bunch of other guys that would take over Brian Flores. I can't like think of anybody. Who else is like available besides Rex Ryan?
I don't know. I don't really know who like good head coaching candidates are besides like the big three right there.
I mean, let's look at like, is there any college coaches like? I don't even know really, because like college coaches are almost like NFL coaches now with this whole NIL thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's less and less college coaches willing to like. You look at like college coaches coming up to the NFL.
Yeah, I don't want no college coach going to start with the Patriots.
And college coaches coming up from the NFL, normally they're just ex-NFL coaches. They got banished from the NFL and then came back.
The Lions defensive coordinator is supposed to be another guy that's going to be.
Yeah, I really like what he did. What's his name?
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. Thank you. I really like what he did. I think like because he took a lot of heat those first few years because their defense was really bad. But what they've molded it into is like you could tell it's just gotten a lot better. And like you go from being literally the worst team ever to being the number one seed in the NFC and being a Super Bowl contender. You've done something correctly. I think he probably deserves a shot at head coach. I think he's like you see him on the sidelines. He's just as energetic as like Dan Campbell is when the defense is doing shit. Like I love to see that sort of shit. We're forgetting, dude. We're forgetting a whale right now. Where does John Gruden end up?
He's not coaching.
He's getting a coaching job.
He's not coaching.
I could see him being the Jets head coach.
I will guarantee John Gruden is not a head coach in 2025.
I will guarantee that he is.
Wet t-shirt contest, like loser is a wet t-shirt. Like he's not. he wouldn't. The thing is, he wouldn't take an offensive coordinator job. He's head coach or nothing, and nobody's hiring him to be the head coach.
Why not though?
I don't know. The weird thing at the end with the Saints with the emails, I feel like he's just untouchable. Like nobody's.
I feel like he's completely wiped that clean with what he's done at Barstool, and I feel like people are saying like he still really fucking loves football, and like he's definitely willing to like put in the work.
He's so much better in his role now.
I agree with you. Selfishly, I would want him to be like. That's why I hated when he became a head coach again, because I loved him on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So like I would love him to just be at Barstool and to continue doing what he's doing, because I think it's awesome. I think it's hilarious.
He's just a bro. He's just a bro.
He's doing this though to get a head coaching job. So like he's gonna end up being a head coach. I just don't know where. Where would he be a head coach?
The Bears.
I could see it.
And I don't hate that either.
No,
I think I'm not saying. And
he loves Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and not that I'm saying he couldn't be a head coach. Like, obviously, he's won a Super Bowl. He's proven that he can be a head coach.
Yeah.
I just don't think teams are going to put themselves in a position to hire him. I don't think the teams are going to go after him.
Okay, do you think eventually he will be an NFL coach again, if it's not next year? You don't think so?
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's coached.
I think he does get in somehow.
Maybe.
Because listen, I think if you're a team that is really struggling, like the Bears, a team that is really, really on the struggle bus, how could you not benefit from having a guy like that?
You 100% could. You 1,000% could.
You know what I mean?
1,000.
Like the whole like racist thing, like I get it, and I get like what he did was very bad, but like I don't know. Does that mean he's banned from the NFL forever? Like I don't think so, and I don't think he's inherently racist either. Like, I feel like if someone is inherently racist, I feel like it's very easy to detect in someone, and I feel like he's not that.
No, like, I think it's more or less that like he has the stench around him from the firing that I don't think a team would want to take the chance.
And I think we're really well removed from that whole cancel culture bullshit that I think teams would be willing to kind of like take the little bit of flack. I don't even think a team would get flack if I'm being completely honest. I don't think a team would get flack if they hired him.
I'm gonna say I wouldn't be shocked if he gets hired, but if you're asking my opinion, I don't think he gets another job in the NFL.
Interesting.
So,
I just think it would be so good if he was on a team and he could turn it around.
The next 5 days of football are going to be amazing. Oh,
we got a game tonight.
Nolan,
what's up?
I don't know how this didn't come up until just now. I might have a game of the year.
Wait, whoa. We're doing this now?
College.
Okay, college. Okay.
Can I call it a college game of the year?
Yeah, sure. There's no rules.
Texas +6.
I love it.
Go Longhorns.
It's Arch Manning, Texas. Right?
It's gonna be Quinn.
Oh,
here's my thought process. Ready? You're giving me 6 points at home, okay? Number 1, at home. Number 2, what did everybody see last week? They saw Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka running freaking haywire on Oregon. Texas has one of the best corners in the league. They're going to put him on Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith is still going to hit his 70, 80, 90 yards. That's fine. But he's not going to go buck wild, okay? Quinn Ewers, former Buckeye. He has something to go out there and prove and shove it up their ass. Mm-hmm. I love Texas in this game. I love Texas +6, and I think Texas can win this game. College game of the year, Texas +6 tomorrow night.
I love it because they're my pick to win the whole thing. They have been for a while. Since like the first 3 weeks, I was like, this team just looks different.
I don't see how they can be 6-point underdogs in this game. I have no problem with the Bucs favoring Ohio State. Not at all. If you want to say Ohio State -3 or even -4, I get. But if you're telling me 6 at home, I think that's blatantly disrespectful. And Ryan Day's a loser.
Well, it's not at home, right? Isn't it like
they're at the Cowboy Stadium? That's a
home game. They're in Arlington. I didn't know that.
Yes, bro. Yes.
Home game.
Bro, Ryan Day's a loser. A loser. He loves losing big games. I was
honestly surprised at how badly they beat Oregon. I really, if you were to ask me other than Texas who would win, I would have picked Oregon for sure.
If Ohio State ever plays in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, hammer them because they love that
True.
venue for some reason.
Yeah, true.
They always play well there. So
very true.
But I think everyone's way too high on this Ohio State team. Will Howard is not my favorite. There's a lot of things I like about Texas in this game. I love Texas spread tomorrow night. I'm all over. Texas +6.
What do you think about who's coming out of the other game, Penn State or Notre Dame?
I've gone back and forth on this game so many times.
I would have thought Notre Dame would have lost to
Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah.
But they came out of they're gritty. I'll give them that. These are two very gritty teams.
Here's what I'll say. If Notre Dame wins, the matchup is 100% Notre Dame, Texas. 100%.
I think that would be awesome if it was Notre Dame, Texas.
If Penn State wins, my Texas looks a little scary because if Penn State wins, I think it's Ohio State, Penn State, unfortunately. But I still think even if Penn State wins tonight, Texas covers the 6 points. I don't think Ohio State's beating that team by more than 6. If you're asking my pick for tonight, I'm taking Notre Dame. Final answer. Not confident, not but I'll take Notre Dame.
I like it. I like Notre Dame.
They played a lot better recently. They've beaten a couple good teams along the way. I'll take Notre Dame. I don't know.
Only because they're playing their best football at the right time. I feel like.
Yeah.
And
their defense is something to behold, dude.
Yeah, and they've only lost one game. I mean, that's very impressive.
It was to a really bad team, but I mean, shit happens.
Yeah, obviously. The thing is too, you get one of those a year, and if it goes more than one, then you're really in trouble. Mm-hmm. But Notre Dame was able to limit it just to that one game, and they've come up with some big wins since. So
they've been the last 2 days. They kicked Indiana's ass, and they freaking kicked Georgia's ass too. So
yeah, because I feel like Indiana could have been a game where they could have easily lost, and Indiana could have won a scrappy game. I know a lot of people probably weren't expecting Indiana to win, but if you were to tell me that Indiana would have beat them, I wouldn't have been surprised. It wouldn't have been a crazy upset to me. Did you see the UConn men's game the other day? Yesterday?
I saw clips of it. I know what happened. I wasn't watching it live, but
I was going into it. I was like, ooh, Villanova's -1. I was like, maybe Villanova wins. And then we were at the women's game at XL Center, and where our seats are is the second level, but if you go out to the concourse, there's windows into the sports book. So we were watching the end of it. From the concourse, and it pisses me off. First of all, here's my TED Talk for this week. Okay, can we stop with the reviewing every single play that happens?
Oh, it's so bad.
It is mind-boggling bad. Every single time the ball goes out of bounds, they're going to check. They're going to check that little fucking monitor, and it takes them literally 2 minutes.
So I have a thought that for the last couple weeks.
Share with the class.
This regular season, if we're talking football, basketball, baseball, hockey, NHL, MLB, and college sports college basketball and college football, the worst regular season games are college basketball games. College basketball game regular season is awful, dude. It's freaking terrible. The games take way too long. Every 4 minutes there's a timeout. These home teams always win. The road team can never win because freaking they're college athletes. There's so many little things they never hit shots. It's just not a good product in my mind. The tournament, the best thing ever. I'm not saying that, but when it comes to regular Joe Schmo Tuesday night, fucking DePaul versus whoever.
I disagree because I think that they're very good, but the reviewing thing is what kills it. They kill the flow of the game. They give teams extra timeouts. Well, not just extra timeouts. Timeouts is 30 seconds. They give 2 minutes if they're looking at a game.
6 minutes sometimes, yeah.
And then it literally makes the last minute of the game so long. It makes it so long. They review.
Coaches have timeouts too, so then it's review, 1 play, timeout, 2 plays, review, play, timeout.
Especially
foul.
That game the other night because the ball went out of bounds 3 separate times on the last possession, on UConn's last possession.
I love that they're always like this, right after it.
Holy shit. And then another thing that people don't talk about is it makes the refs lazy because they know they can just go check the monitor.
They're like
they should
whatever.
limit the amount of times they can fucking check the monitor. Well, my whole thing is in any sport that reviewing is a thing, there needs to just be somebody reviewing it in real time. They've done a great job this year with the NFL because the NFL had an issue with this. And they were like, expedited review. Expedited review. We need that in basketball. We need it in college. We need it in NBA. We need it everywhere. Just somebody looking at the monitor and they can come over and be like, yep, UConn ball.
We need the chubby white guy to walk over to the monitor, then them set it up, then them replay the thing fucking 5 times. Like,
dude, and then they have to like announce it into the little microphone that no one ever hears. And then like they had a guy, I don't know if you caught this. Oh, you weren't watching, but they went over to the monitor and they were looking at the monitor and they're showing like the refs huddled around it. There's a guy sitting at the scorer's table with like a dress shirt button up on with a ref shirt over it. And I was like, okay, who is that? Is he a ref? What is that?
No, that's Vegas. That was
like, is he Vegas's representative? Like, what is this? Making sure Villanova covers -1?
They're like, we done a lot in on UConn right here. Like, we need Villanova.
Yeah, and then, dude, Caravan, you can't give me one free throw at the end of the game.
Missing both is woof, dude.
I looked at Taylor. Really... I go. Villanova is -1, by the way, before this game. I go. He misses both. And he fucking missed both.
It's so crazy. Like, how do they know -1 and then they win by 2? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's just like the reviews kill me. They kill me, dude. It's like the whole. We were there probably for half of the. It was during halftime of the women's game. It went from like probably 5 minutes left with halftime. I'm trying to remember. It was literally like most of the halftime intermission was us watching that game. And when we started watching the game, there was like 2.5 minutes left. And it took forever. And like we went back to our seats and there was like 2 minutes into the second half of the women's game. I was like, dude, this took way too fucking long. It's insane. And everyone around us, because there was a good amount of people watching it, because the women, I don't know if you saw it, the women won by like 50 points. The women were up by so much. So like people were just standing there watching, and everyone's pissed. Every time they go to review it, everyone is pissed. I'm just like, yeah, it's like, sometimes it's the most obvious call too. Like, just take one look at the replay.
And they'll still sit there and watch 8 replays of it before they'll call it.
Because then they got to check what the clock is. The checking of what the clock is pisses me off too. Who gives a shit? 0.2 of a second. Everyone's like, well, you never know what can... Bro, it should be up to the scorer's table, and they're usually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It's not like it's ever off by a lot. You know what I mean? It's always off by like 0.2.
Never like a full like 2 seconds or like a second.
Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Just like, let's wrap it up. Like, let's go. Holy shit. You could fix this fucking dumb shit, and the game will be so much better.
This season especially, I've not been a college basketball stan at all. But...
I've been watching some of these good matchups, and it's a good game up until the last minute of the game.
Some games are good. Some games I feel like are sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Like, it's one of those things in my mind.
Because college basketball is a lot like college football, where the first part of the year is like not the greatest, and then like it gets better as you get closer to the tournament. Because then you get the conference tournaments and then the tournament. The only thing that's really good that I feel like college football should adopt something like this. They should have like the like tournament right in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it's like a little thing where we get good teams playing each other, like I feel like that's what it is.
the Maui tournament, like the Maui's kind of like that.
Right, they do the Maui, they do like the Bahamas, they do like all these cool like little tournaments. Like I feel like football could do something like that, because I hate watching like Alabama beat a team by 50 in the first few weeks.
So I gotta ask you, because I just had a bold take that I want to say, but I'm gonna ask you for your bold take for that NFL first. Okay. Do you have like an extremely bold take? Because I have one.
Well, what do you mean bold take? Like
way out. All right, I'll do mine first.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry scoring 4 touchdowns on Sunday.
Oh, we're talking about that kind of bold take.
4. He's dead in the end zone 4 times.
I definitely could see that happening.
He's gonna have like 158 and 4 touchdowns. That's my prediction. Yeah.
Let me take a look here.
Remember when I said T. Higgins for 3 touchdowns, and then 2 weeks later he had 3 touchdowns?
It's always like the week after. We're early. Like we know what we're talking about. Sometimes we're just a little too early. Yeah. Like the Vikings.
I wonder what my pick 3 record would be the week after. Like if I took the spread of those 3 teams the week after I took them. I might want to go back and look at that, honestly.
That might be good to look at. My bold prediction is probably Jalen Hurts 3+ interceptions. Is that bold enough for you?
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
He did that in the first game, right? Or did he have 2 against the Packers? He looked really bad that first game against the Packers. He had 2 or 3 against the Packers. I don't know which one it was.
Was that the you're talking about the Brazil game?
Brazil game. Yeah, that was a Brazil game.
Yeah, he was really faded in that game.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that game was really sloppy because of that dumb field.
Oh, yeah.
My bold take with the NFL is let's stop with the international games, please.
I'd hit up behind that. That's fine with me.
We've gone too far. It was cute when they were doing one London game a year, and now it's like...
You get 1 a year.
Yeah.
You get 1.
It was cute when they were doing that because it was always a meaningless game in like the middle of the year that no one cared about. Now it's like we got 5 different international games we got to do.
What, next it'll be Antarctica. They'll play on like the fucking ice or something.
Yeah, they're gonna play in like the Arctic Circle. It's like, come on, bro.
Loser has to swim home.
All right.
All right, buddy. Adios.
Yep. See you, buddy.
See ya.